This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is the Google Pixel 9a for 2025. You know, the A line, the more affordable line. Affordable, a word we like to hear in 2025. Well, this one is actually a delightful phone to use. That's nice for me to say. You're like, oh yeah, influencer, you just say that stuff. No, actually, it really is good, and it's $499 for a starting price, even better. We're going to look at it now. All right, so why am I so enamored with this phone? Well, for starters, it's not just about the price, but I really like the price. Half the price of a lot of flagships, if not less, and a really nice phone. But the design is just kind of that Goldilocks principle, just the right size. 6.3 inches, so a decent sized display without being this humongous tablet in your pocket kind of thing. They got rid of the camera bar. Yay that. This is just a flat, simple, easy to hold, not lumpy, not bumpy kind of phone that just feels kind of right. And the front looks almost identical to the Pro line. This is a little bit bigger bezels on board, but you've got a 2700 nit max brightness display here. Now that's outdoor max brightness, yada yada. You know, you can't just fry your retinas at will indoors in the dark or something like that. But still, it's plenty bright. I could use it taking photographs in the nice sunny California sun and all that sort of thing, and it was fine. A little bit of glare on the Gorilla Glass 3 display. That's one thing that brightness can't completely make go away. But there's that. It's an OLED display, it's full HD plus resolution, so all those things are things, well, we like. And, you know, the usual HDR support and all those good things that go with OLED. So that's fine. Also, something that wouldn't always be a plus, but is here, is we have the Tensor G4 CPU, the same thing that's in the Pro line. Why is this sort of a plus? Well, the plus is because it gets pretty decent battery life, doesn't get hot, unlike some of the previous Tensor line. And when you look at it in the Pixel Pro line, right, where you're spending the big bucks on the phone, and you're like, well, that's a mid-rangey performance CPU with really good AI performance. I'll get into that. And you're like, I don't know if I want to spend all that. But when you're looking at a $500 phone, then it starts to sound good. You've got slightly larger than last year battery, also 5100 milliamps. So you combine that with the G4, and you've got, they claim 30 hours of use time. Of course, you're never going to get that, but I found it pretty hard to kill this with normal use, including taking photos and video and a little bit of gaming, not a lot, you know, in about 2 days of use time. So that's nice. That's the good stuff there. You're going to get 8 gigs of RAM and your choice of 128 or 256 gigs of storage. So the Pro line does have 12 gigs of RAM, so there are going to be differences. Is 8 enough? I think for most normals it is, and probably this is for normals, not for enthusiasts. IP68 instead of IP67, water and dust resistance, that's something that you do care about. When it comes to charging and wireless charging, well, you know, not really very fast. 23 watt wired charging and your basic 7.5 watt Qi wireless charging, which I guess is better than no wireless charging, but not a fast charging phone. Again, competitors or their Pro line get you more there, but then again, stuff is going to be missing when you spend less money, right? And I'd rather have a better display and good battery life and reasonable performance. When we get back to the performance, the whole AI thing is the thing. You've got Gemini on board, Gemini 2.0 Flash on this. And, you know, despite the fact that the Tensor gets made fun of for not being as fast as the latest Snapdragon and all that sort of thing, Google, makers of the software that is, you know, Gemini based and all that sort of thing, has really optimized it on this phone. And I have to say, using all the things, the stuff that you like about a Pixel, like Magic Eraser and all that sort of thing, Circle the Search, those all work great on this, but using the Gemini Live features and other things, and, you know, Gemini Nano in general, it's really responsive. It's actually the fastest phone that I've used yet when you compare it to, well, other brands of phones. So they got that right. If you care about that stuff, and I will admit that AI on a phone is a lot more useful than it has been so far on today's laptops, Windows laptops, then that's a plus there. When it comes to the cameras, you don't get a telephoto lens here. Again, that's the Pro line kind of thing if you want that sort of thing. You do get a new sensor, a half-inch sensor for the main camera. Resolution's down a little bit, 48 megapixel. Pretty fast lens there, but it does take better photos. Sometimes they'll say, oh, well, we cut back on this, but it's going to be better, and it isn't always. In this case, these are, if you like pixel photos, which I do, they're naturalistic. They look like a digital SLR took them. They don't have amped up colors or extra crunchy contrast like even today's iPhones tend to do, and certainly Samsung can do. They're just nice looking, clean photos without so much over sharpening that you're like, oh man, every blade of grass, it hurts my eyes kind of thing. They're well done. I do miss having a telephoto lens. That's me. You know who you are. You do have an ultra-wide lens too, 13 megapixel on board. You have the usual things like night sight and all the stuff that Google is good at. You've got Add Me, part of their AI thing, so you want to add yourself into a photo. All of that stuff is there too. But you know, you could spend twice as much on a phone and really not beat the main and ultra-wide cameras on this. And this year they've added macro. I don't know how many people care about macro. It's nice. It's a little fidgety to get it just in the right position to take a macro shot of a flower or a bug or whatever it is that you want to take a picture of. But of course, the phone has 5G. It's sub-6. Again, more expensive phones have millimeter wave, the ultra super fast 5G. So not unusual. We have Wi-Fi 6E, not Wi-Fi 7. Deal breaker? No. A little bit. Wish kind of forward thinking. Maybe yes. Bluetooth 5.3, NFC. Forward thinking is the amount of OS updates you're going to get, software updates, security updates, and pixel drops, which everybody knows adds kind of cool features over time to the phones, so you get 7 years of that. So that's when I started to care about things like, does it have Wi-Fi 7 versus 6E? Because oh my God, that's a long time for software updates. If you manage to keep that phone around that long, good for you. You've got current software on it, according to Google. So that's the Google Pixel 9a. This is, like I said, it's just a likable phone. It feels good. It's easy to use. You don't look at anything, God, did I just pay crazy amount of money for this? Did I do the right thing? You're like, no, I paid $500. That's a good amount of money, and I got a nice looking phone that feels good in the hand. It does what I needed to do, and it has really good cameras. So in that way, those are wins. Obviously, there are fancier phones out there with bigger displays and more cameras and all that sort of thing, but good to have choice, isn't it? I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos. Thumbs up if you like this vid, and when you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know about our videos. And wash behind your ears.